Game dates, y'all, are being released, man. We're going to go through a couple of the teams that I cover and I look at and break down some of these game times that are being obviously talked about and announced today. Let's start with Georgia Tech. All right, so GT is going to play Gardner-Webb at 3:30. That's their first home game of the season. Remember, they're on the road, prime time, Friday night, 8 p.m. They're going to obviously play Colorado on the road in Boulder. But now when they come back home, open up a 3-game homestand. They're going to start with Gardner-Webb at 3:30. This one, I'm a little bit disappointed in, the Clemson game. I thought the Clemson game would have easily been 3:30 or at least the primetime slot at 7, right? But the good thing is, and I do respect this, this is how you know the tide is changing for Georgia Tech. It's an ABC kick on ESPN. So you being featured in that not that prime time, but that day window of noon. You know what I'm saying? Is that the highest window for ESPN? No, it is not. But that is one of their top windows, especially if you could be featured that early. The really prime one is the 7:30 kickoff, obviously. But being featured as the first game of the day on ABC, on ESPN, that is huge, obviously, for Georgia Tech, what they're looking to build. And you're going to have all eyes on you because, like I said, it's the biggest game, not necessarily of the season, but it is the biggest game during that time frame, especially. So that's obviously huge for Georgia Tech to have that slot. It says a lot about what they're building. Then next up, you have Georgia, another really good one. Remember, y'all, they had the nightcap last year. They changed the game instead of on a Saturday to a Friday, 8 overtime game. They're going to play Georgia, y'all, on ABC at 3:30 on that Friday. So obviously that'll be another really good game to see who kind of comes out on top. So again, you got 2 really elite games. It's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top, who wins. But nonetheless, for Georgia Tech, man, I think your biggest games of the year are featured on a national platform, a national network. So, like I said, it's huge for what they're building moving forward. I know they're going to get a lot of flack about yesterday, them obviously getting rings for being FSU Miami. I do think that's a little overblown, but I'll leave it at that. But nonetheless, man, this is how you build a team. This is how, you show people that you're not messing around. And this schedule shows all that. Obviously, the big primetime network partners having your games at these times, noon, ESPN on ABC, and then once again on ABC for that big-time game at Mercedes-Benz Stadium at 3:30 p.m. Doesn't get much bigger than that, man. So a lot of the games are obviously broadcasted on ACC Network, but it's huge to be in that major spot for ESPN. So, yeah, y'all, that's my thoughts on Georgia Tech and the latest announcement of their schedule. Already know 4-day games. We'll see how everything else obviously outlines through the summer. But big time. And they got a big weekend coming up, man. Going to have some major guys on campus. I'll probably get an article out on that. But Kayvon Conchero is going to be there. Obviously, Dorian Barney. Some major players are going to be on campus this weekend as they try to kind of solidify, this class. I think it's top 50, top 60 right now. Looking to get it back into the top 25 again. We'll see if they're able to do it. But big time weekend coming up for the Jackets.